an asset to a community. When we strengthen one community in the state of Rhode Island, we strengthen the entire state of Rhode Island. So I'm hopeful in the end. I don't think you push a panic button just because somebody else is competing for, for something. I don't think that you all of a sudden ratchet up or make a decision that you weren't prepared to make just because, in this case, Worcester is interested. I think you evaluate it on your terms, you make a decision on what's the best in the state, and hopefully at the end, you're going to see a plan that's going to protect the taxpayers, keep the Tucket Red Sox in the area, and the Senate has done the work, and hopefully the House is going to do their work. They're going to come to that spot, and it's going to be something that is going to get approved, and we're going to see a mini Fenway Park from Route 95, which is going to be an attraction not only for the people in Rhode Island but outside the state as well. It's a nice landmark for Pawtucket. It's a good positive boost. It doesn't answer all the economic issues that we have to deal with, but it is a positive, and I think that we should do everything we can to support it.
Now, my next question is much different from the business, but with DACA and everything that's been going on with that, what are your thoughts on that, and what do you think is going to end up happening to all of the dreamers that are involved with this?
So I showed up when there was this move by the current administration to kind of reverse DACA, right? We had that right in Center Falls, a press conference, and supported the fact that we would continue the DACA program and support the individuals that fell under that umbrella as outlined in the President Obama's administration. I think that you're going to see that even though it's going to be painful, I think you're going to see that they're going to continue the program in a way that protects those individuals that came to our country not on their free will, but they came as youngsters, and then that this is their home, and to think that you can uproot them and move them out in any form, I think is, I don't think it's going to be defensible. I think that you're going to see that there's going to be some way to make sure that program continues in a way that supports the young people that have found themselves here, and those young people who found themselves here and they consider this their home, this is their country. They support, they stand under the American flag, the United States American flag, and we should stand with them.
Now, what are your thoughts on the President of the United States and his administration as a whole and his job performance?
Yeah, so I'm certainly not a supporter of President Trump. I think that behavior and the way that you can conduct your affairs is part of leadership, and all we've seen is, a lot of turmoil, a lot of tweeting, right? A lot of attacking. I don't think that's a sign of a long-term leadership. There has been some economic success that you can't walk into an office and a month later have an improvement in the economy and think it was you. This is that pipeline, right? The pipeline that you put in and the things that come out of that pipeline take years, sometimes months, years. So I think that there has been some actions that are good, but it's been very divisive. It's been very political, and I'm not sure in that environment that the people that Washington is serving, whether it's out of the presidents or in Congress, is served as well as it could be because of behavior and creating very divisive type of verbiage, right? And I've said this at one meeting with the Haitian community who were attacked by our president in a way that I think that was shameful. When I said, look at divisive words, hateful words, discriminatory words spoken in any language is in my house, your house, or the White House is wrong. And I think that the behavior, I'm measuring my feelings about leadership based on the behavior, and he doesn't get a passing grade, on that behavior. Now, hopefully, we want the country to do well. We shouldn't be rooting for the country not to do well. I think an example of that, when the tax law was passed, we talked about this earlier, about the fact that there's an advantage that the ratepayers should get as a result of that law. We shouldn't be just saying, oh, we'll forget about that. We should do whatever is kind of there in policy that can help and benefit the people in the state of Rhode Island. We should be working to make that happen. His behavior is not going to change, and I think it's something that in the long run will hurt our country more than it helps our country.
Now, recently, the deputy director of the FBI resigned. What are your thoughts on that, and what effects do you think that's going to have on the FBI and maybe the whole country altogether?
Well, I think that that's another indication of the frustration in leadership in Washington. I didn't get the back end story of why he left early, but he was going to leave anyways. But it is troubling. Look, we need to make sure that we put a microscope on everything and full disclosure on anything that's in public policy, including the FBI. Right, so if they have conducted their affairs improperly, then we should go through proper channels to hold them accountable. But when you get in the middle of a war of words and a media strategy to diminish any area of government or anybody who's serving in government, whether it's people in Congress or whether it's the FBI or people in our military or whoever's serving our country in a way that is targeted and kind of part of a game plan to build yourself up by knocking others down, I'm not in on that. So I think that's a reflection a little bit, more than a little bit, that's a strategy that's being used out of the White House. We're going to protect ourselves, we're going to build ourselves up by knocking others down. I kind of feel as though we should be trying to really build everybody up rather than knocking people down. How are we doing, Andrea? Yeah. You're going to have to wrap this up. We've been going a while. What do you got? What else you got?
My last question, I guess we can end it more on a high note.
I know, okay.
It was also recently reported that a Rhode Island lawmaker wants to end a lot of the glue laws in Rhode Island. It was reported.
Yes.
And I'd like to ask your thoughts on that.
I think that any arcane pieces of legislation that somehow potentially could be used in a way that's not reasonable in today's standards, you can go back as far as you want, wipe them all out. I applaud anybody that kind of gets rid of any of the minutia that might be gumming up the works.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for watching this. And
okay. Well, Matt, thank you for doing that. I appreciate the interview.